that cutie pie right there. That's Holland. That little guy, actually Josh and I just taught our second class for a college back east. We are helping to support a marketing professor and guiding the class through actually creating their own, kind of their own version of a greater good party. And we made sure that that little guy was in his crate because he gets excited. If he thinks someone's at the door, he barks. So now that I'm recording this video, he's outside too, but he was too cute not to show you guys. So Josh and I just helped teach our second class today. And it brought something up that I thought would be really helpful, to share. And that is, as both Josh and I, and we talked about it quickly, because we both, did the hour and a half teaching kind of in between other projects and work and whatnot, that, really quickly we just sort of downloaded. And one of the things that we shared with each other was just how much energy, how much enjoyment we get from that giving. And we feel the same, when we think of our first Greater Good Party, the second Greater Good Party is coming up. Same also goes for the podcast that we're doing together. Just how much we are enjoying life, how much more we are enjoying life. I mean, I think so many of us believe that we're enjoying life to the fullest, or that we're enjoying it, like things are pretty good, until we realize that we can follow our heart, our desires, that we can follow our creativity in an even bigger way to truly expand, on that joy, to truly expand, on the daily happiness we feel. So we were just sharing with each other, it feels so good. I feel, even though we're busy and, we have full lives, professionally and, as a family and whatnot, how much it feels like when you're doing something that you love, how much you can sort of bend time, or at least feel that way. And it made me think back to a post that I shared, a written post that I shared on Facebook, talking about doing things for the experience of them, both professionally and personally, just in life, moving from feeling like we have to focus or sort of, over focus on the end result, versus focusing on the enjoyment of it, focusing on the experience of it. So in other words, give to give. Right? So not expecting, this whole idea of expecting in return. In other words, give to give, versus believing or planning for that giving to give back to you in any other way but energy. So to give, write to write. I recently was really stuck with my writing. In fact, it's been a few months. I hired a sort of a creative consultant many months back. We took a little hiatus, and now I'll be back with her next week. And one of the things that I got really clear on a few days ago was what I'm sharing with you, that because I was able to go back to, sort of clean the slate and go back to what it's really about for me, which is, it's about the experience. I want to write because I like to write. Yes, the end goal or the end result will be a book, will be a book, will be an article, whatever it is that I'm, currently writing, but to not over rev on having the end result be, what generates or be what powers me to move through the days. Because, we get to a point where, that way of doing things doesn't power us up, doesn't light us up. I was really end result focused. I mean, it's been 16 years in entrepreneurship, and this is something that, of course, as entrepreneurs, as business owners, the women that I support, of course we have goals. And I'm not saying that the end result is not important. However, if we're feeling like, if you have felt like maybe I have with my writing, where you're feeling not excited, about sitting down in the chair to write, or to create or to express, then possibly It could be because, the fuel, the gasoline, that you're putting into your, putting into your body, into your creative body, is the wrong kind of gasoline, the wrong fuel. In other words, it being just this reminder of, oh yeah, I get to, one day I'm going to finish this book and I'm going to have people read it and I'm going to impact people, or I'm going to make this much money, that sort of end result. Well, what if we were powered up? And this is what I've noticed in me, like such a different energy recently, as I've allowed myself to go back to loving the experience of writing, to getting up in the morning and doing the writing, to write because of the experience, or for the experience of it. I want to say long are the days, but it's, so often, so much of the time, we are, as humans, as humanpreneurs, as entrepreneurs, and just as creative people, we can get into this rut of, well, what's the strategy? What's the theory? When in essence, what is actually going to allow us to get to that end result with more fun, again, like more quickly, is doing it this way, is doing it from a place of feeling, from a place of, what truly lights us up. And here's why we get there quickly, more quickly, if we focus on enjoying the experience, getting up and, again, giving to give, getting up and, creating to create, getting up and expressing to express, writing to, feel what that experience is like, what growth comes from that, what that all feels like, and how all of that, helps us enjoy our life more. The reason that we get to that end result in, again, even quicker than if we were, only focused on the end result, is because it's all about energy. At the end of the day, what, publishers, what your, what an audience is looking for, what anyone, is really looking for, at the end of the day, is it's really your energy that is going to separate you from someone else. From another writer, from another giver, from another presenter, like I'm thinking of Josh and I earlier today, presenting to this college class. It's going to be energy. And so if it's about energy, if it's about really expressing and showing our passion, well, doesn't it make so much more sense to, use that filter, of, I'm doing this for the experience. I'm doing this to, feel even closer, to my creativity, to feel even closer, to be, excited by the growth, that this writing opportunity is going to bring me. And knowing that every single day, if we can be that excited, again, bring that type of energy to it, that the words that we're going to be putting on paper are going to be so much more. The giving, the energy that we can bring. As I was thinking, just right now, thinking back to, we did the training, or we did the sharing at our dining room table over here. And I was sharing this with the students. I was talking about energy. They're going to be done with their, is it a trimester? Their first semester in a couple weeks, and they were saying, we're feeling fatigue, we're not feeling excited by things. And anyway, so we had a conversation about energy. And so, again, if success, leaves clues, success, is saying and is sharing, and I know it's definitely shared with me recently, that if we're not feeling it, if we're not excited about what we're doing, and meaning not even just not excited, but just not getting up to write, we feel like we have writer's block, we feel like we have a creative block with whatever passion project, or, and this isn't just business related. Of course, I work with a lot of business people, but this isn't just business related. This is just life related. If you're not feeling like you can sit down and do the work on something, that you can really focus on something, what if, you looked at over the next week or so, just allowed yourself to experiment with this idea. If you can just, hack into it and think to yourself, okay, I'm not doing this, to write the book. I'm really, truly, like what my soul is saying in no uncertain terms is that I'm doing this for the experience of it. And then again, because, we're working from that place, there is just going to be such a different energy, coming. And so it's, at the end of the day, it's not really an either or. Of course, we're working towards an end result. All of us, in some way, shape, or form, we are working towards an end result. If we're a mother, we're working towards the end result of our child being a caring, human, giving human being. If we're an entrepreneur, especially if we're a purposeful entrepreneur, we are working towards creating a particular size or a particular type, a particular quality of impact. And I could go on and on and on. So that's all great, but it's not an and or an or. There is that end result, and we get to keep thinking about, and keep getting excited for that, to step into that vision. However, as creative types, possibly the thing that is going to change everything, and again, help us feel even more inspired, is to go back to what it's really about. What your soul is really calling you to do, which is to experience life, to love your life. And so as much as the end result is awesome and that you're going to get there, especially again with this renewed energy, you'll get there more swiftly, you'll get there more quickly. It's so important to keep going back to that particular filter, that it's about the experience more than anything. Holland's barking, so I forget what I was just going to share with you guys there. There's a thought that's not complete, but I'm going to trust it's going to come back. So in other words, what is your feel good? How can you get back to feeling good? You can call this your feel good strategy. And in fact, I'm going to show you something that is Josh and my feel good folder. So here's our kitchen. Is this light on? Hold on. So here's a folder. You see that red folder? So this folder has our Greater Good Party folder in it, or sorry, this fabric folder has our Greater Good Party folder. It has the course that we're teaching. It has, and then has our podcast folder. Now that's our feel good folder, and it's a great, maybe this is an idea that you can take and run with. It's a great visual, physical thing that reminds us, every single day to do things that make us feel good, to chase those experiences down versus chasing the end result. Because again, ultimately, that's what's going to help us get to live a purposeful life. Eventually, it's all going to help us build not just potentially professional lives that feel really on purpose, but that will help, our family life feel that much more fun, because we're so much more, lit up about our contribution in the world. And again, are really appeasing that creative voice, really appeasing those creative ideas. And so maybe this is an idea for you, how can you create your feel good folder? Basically, what would be in that feel good folder, and where you're constantly, as you're walking by in the kitchen or wherever you'd want to, hang it or put it, where you're constantly reminded of doing the thing, of doing the writing, of doing the nurturing, the mothering, of giving, whatever it is, for the experience, of those things. Now, Josh and I, we aren't doing any of those things. Our intention was never to, the end result, or the intention of it wasn't to grow our profession, meaning it wasn't to grow our businesses. It was to literally enjoy our life more. And what's not so crazy is that, because we're doing it with, with this sort of full heart and just so enjoying ourselves, that there are certain things that have been happening, sort of on the side professionally, where people are taking note, and there's been a couple people who have reached out recently for really cool, in really cool ways with really cool projects. And so it's just this recognition and this reminder. And again, I trust that this really supports you wherever you are in your life. Again, whether it's, in your family relationships with your spouse, within your business, or within potentially a creative project or a passion project that you want to start or that you want to continue, is that once you speak from that place, once you create from that place of this feels so amazing, and I trust that whatever I do, whatever feels this amazing is going to continue to lead me to that next creative project, to that next amazing person, to that, to that feeling, again, to that energy that is going to not only make me feel on a more daily basis amazing and happy and peaceful and truly lit up about my life, but that it also, more often than not, will also, support me in building something of true purpose. If for those of you who do have businesses, for example, know that anything that you are working towards or that you're creating, again, in this creative space, but that where you're doing it from true heart, where you're doing it from this place of purpose, where you're doing it for the experience of it more than you're doing it for any end result, that's the very thing that will help your business grow. Why? Because it's helping you grow, because it's helping you help others grow. As I remember back to being on the computer screen, on a Google Hangout with this class, and here we are talking about energy, and literally as I'm talking, as I'm sharing with them what I think is important for their project, I had this very quick, recognition of what I was sharing with you, where of how important, how important it is to live and breathe and create, from the very thing that you can sustain. Meaning we can sustain, working on projects and doing things that we truly love and that we're excited about. And that those are the very things, when I think about helping these students, that those are all the very things that will eventually sort of connect arm in arm with one another. Again, it may seem like they're completely different projects, supporting a marketing class, the Greater Good Party, which we have here at the house, the podcast that's about creative coupleship. It may seem like it's all different, or it's, that it's going to be, that it's confusing, or that there's no sort of brand, and I'm all about, sort of a clear and concise message, but that for those of you, especially entrepreneurs, you may think, wait, there's all these different things going on. But here's the thing. When you are following, when you're speaking from a place of true alignment, when you're doing something that is, again, for the experience of it, the thing that, the things, you're following the things that you truly love, there is always going to be a thread, meaning there is always going to be a golden thread that supports you, again, for those entrepreneur types, that supports you in creating a message, in feeling like you are actually following sort of one main sort of global message. But even if not, this message is really about, let's not worry so much about all of that right now. Let's worry more, and especially, in this day and age, let's worry more about connecting. Let's worry more about connecting with one another, supporting one another, giving, expressing, creating, writing, for the mere fact that it's going to help us feel amazing, and that it's going to, again, support and impact other people. And knowing that end result of the book, for example, we'll keep on my example, that's totally gonna come, and that it's actually going to come likely in a much bigger way, in a much more powerful way, because of the intention, the purity of the intention, the passion that we're bringing, towards it. So that is, the share that I wanted to impart tonight. And hopefully, you are inspired to create your own feel-good folder, and to begin creating, whether it's in your family or in your business, or with, your passion project, to create from this place of what's going to make you feel good, and therefore what's going to increase, the quality, of your life. So with that, I think the last thing I wanted to share is that I'm going to be posting these on YouTube. For those of you watching this on YouTube, hello. And but yeah, I'm going to be posting more videos on YouTube, so you can definitely subscribe to Michelle Gelati there. And otherwise, I will definitely catch you on a live stream, either on my own or with Josh. If you didn't catch the one last night about, or actually it wasn't a live stream, it was a video because we had not great internet coverage. But if you didn't catch that one about the unconventional life and how to live an unconventional life, how to really, speak and walk this walk, that really this whole video, this whole share was about as well. Definitely check that out. It's on my page and his page, Josh Mandel or Michelle Gelati Mandel. And I believe it's on my business page too. So thanks so much for hanging out today. Again, I trust that this has supported you. And if you want to share in the comments anywhere, either in Facebook or on YouTube, how this supported you, or if you started your own red folder of experiences that you want to have with your family, with your loved ones, your spouse, or just with yourself, definitely let me know. So until next time, enjoy your business and enjoy your life.